Eli, you ready to see Jeremy tonight? You excited to see Jeremy tonight? He's coming to see you. Jeremy's coming to see you. So we just finished watching Blue. I was gonna get you to ask what movie we're gonna watch, but you already know.
Oh, okay.
But that food smells good. About 3 weeks ago. And it's
seems like only yesterday.
Right. But we didn't get a chance to talk back and forth. So I wanted to do that a little bit. That was the first time you saw it, right?
That was the first time I'd seen it. I was familiar with his, mostly with his reputation in terms
Three
of how
Colors
it's gonna look.
Blue, or Blue. That's a part of, the Three Colors trilogy from Kozlowski. Have you seen that before?
I have not.
Well, good. It'll be a treat.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm somewhat familiar with his visual style, and I'm sure that's a lot of what draws you to him.
Yeah.
A very distinct, interesting. He's kind of unafraid to be almost romantic in a sense with what he's doing with the camera, which I'm very curious to see how that plays out in this one.
I agree with that. I've never thought of it that way, but I agree with that. Yeah, I think anyone who loves art will enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeremy, his camera work and his slavish devotion to getting the shots and evoking very specific granular moods, which he's very, very good at. I like fried rice with chicken, please. The first thing that happened where I knew this is going to be a great film was, I think it's one of the very early shots, if not the first, in the tunnel. An order of steamed dumplings.
Okay.
And then pad thai with chicken, please. The character's basically going into this infinite regress. What else does it usually come with? So it's like just this subtle evocation. Oh yeah, of what the entire film is about. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be pretty good. Hot.
And then you get very 2 shots later.
Teriyaki sauce.
Of course, you would know it's 2 shots later.
They pull.
And
they
some
pull
white
over
sauce, please.
for the girl to have to go pee on the side of the road, and the shot is of the brake fluid leaking, and in focus, she is behind it, and she comes up, walks up, runs up to the car, and you see the car shake as she gets in, and that's how you know she's gotten in. But all the while, he's showing you this brake fluid is not going to be a good ending for this prelude right here.
I don't think brake fluid dripping has ever been so menacing.
Finally, I see a Kozlowski movie, and it's like he's Andrei Tarkovsky's cousin.
Right.
But like you said,
well, he is a Western European version in a lot of ways.
But he's closer to the middle too,
because he has that, and I've said this before. There is a luxuriousness to the way he films. It's almost decadent, but it manages never to feel indulgent. Even when he does those shots, everybody talks about the fades to black in the middle of a sequence, in the middle of a single shot, and then it returns. That shouldn't work. That should not work.
Yeah.
But it does. And it becomes a leitmotif throughout the film that punctuates these movements and these moments. And it works perfectly. That's thinking so outside of the parameters of typical filmmaking.
You're a musician. You know music very well.
Yeah.
Was this one of the best movies that had music as a theme in it to you?
This was one of the, people can't say, most singular is not really a thing. But I can't think of another film where music was used in this way.
Me neither.
I mean,
it was so specific.
Yeah, it was like the film was started with that idea,
Yeah, I agree with that.
and then it blossomed out of that.
Because if you go through the Decalogue, which he made in the 80s, and Blind Chance,
Parce que j'avais peur des souris quand j'étais petite.
the Double Life of Veronique, or however you may say that, and the rest of this trilogy. So you just saw Blue for the first time.
Yeah.
And did you like it?
I did. I really liked it. I loved it, I think. It's so odd that it feels out of time because you can't place the time that the movie was made. It was made 25 years ago. It could have been made 50 years ago. It could have been made 75 years ago. Could have been made yesterday. It was an odd.
I think that's a compliment.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange how of its own it is, if that makes sense.
Complete sense. Singular.
Yeah. You know, and it kind of has these rules that it follows in telling these stories. And then you're like, I think that's the only way it could be told.
Yeah.
It's really remarkable. I mean, that's what I was struck by. Two things. One, that it had no sense of time in the best possible way. And two, it was so kinetic. Like she was always moving away. And then at the end she's moving toward, you know. So she's always moving. And the film captures that in a very, very beautiful way, I thought. Yeah, I liked it.
To me, Kieslowski is the closest thing we have in cinema to bridging the Western and Eastern together.
Right. Well, he's kind of like how our favorite American directors took 60s Italian neorealism and Russian art and French and Polish and Italian cinema from the 60s and 70s, and then that's really what birthed the golden age of cinema in the U.S. in the 70s was Italian film and Russian. Yeah, and so it's awesome to see it from the other direction, where he's kind of lived in that fecund environment, and then goes, actually, I like this stuff from overseas too.
Yeah.
So why not incorporate? I mean, it just does it beautiful.
It's all judgment free from his side of the camera.
Yeah.
Even when they're in the strip club, and the guy comes up to
especially when
her,
they're in the strip
especially.
club, and they have this stuff going on in the background that would be instant R, NC-17 or whatever is.
What do you think about the light? The way he uses light. And that shot with a sugar cube.
The shot with a sugar cube and the chandelier, or I guess whatever you can call
Blue
it.
thing?
Yeah, I think a lot of filmmakers try for that kind of economy of visual style, and you can't do it.
It has to
He
come
shoots that
organically.
in a way that there have been dozens.
But like he just swipes by her in between.
Yes.
The camera's
yes. God, it's like you can feel the stuff in that film.
Yeah.
As a filmmaker's trying to get a static shot or a very immobile shot, which is another word for static, and make it compelling like that, they can't do it. I mean, they just can't do it.
He doesn't have to.
No, and he kind of almost in modern cinema seems to be second tier. You know, people don't mention him with Kubrick and Tarkovsky, and
It's a mistake.
I think so. I think, in 20, 30 years, people are going to go back and look at the treasure trove that he left and be like, oh, thank God we had him.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to end it.